Hi, I'm Michael Keane, and I'm a lover of cult horror and exploitation cinema, and I want to make a movie. But not just any movie, a fucking wild movie. And I need your help to realize my vision. And that vision is Dr. Deathface. The story of an agoraphobic sex therapist, his propensity for murder, and the bedgina that will help him along the way. What's a bedgina? Well, we'll get into that, but chances are it's exactly what you think it is. Now, if you don't know me, I'm a YouTube personality, I guess, thanks in large part to the pandemic. Before then, I was making movies. I wrote and directed an homage to cult filmmaker Neil Breen in 2018 called Fatal Future. It's terrible. Francois, no. God, no. And a shot on VHS horror comedy called The Head in 2019, which also led to a short film shot on Betacam SP that's going to be a part of an upcoming holiday-themed anthology. In the first months of 2020, I was planning another film with my team, a throwback to 1950s sci-fi, when the pandemic shut that shit right on down. It was a bit heartbreaking as the months went by and the thing we thought would take weeks to resolve led to, well, where we are now. So I came up with a new idea, one that's more me in a way. While my previous films have been tributes to other people's work, Dr. Deathface is wholly my own, still mixing influences, but without trying to ape any other styles. To an extent, I'm not going to lie. I am taking a lot of inspiration from the films of Jess Franco, David Cronenberg, Andrei Zulawski, Roger Watkins a bit, Takashi Miike, Lucio Fulci, John Waters, Nicholas Roeg, a little bit of David Lynch. There's also some takeaways from The Curious Dr. Hump, which is available through AGFA, Tough Guys Don't Dance, Messiah of Evil, Death Nurse, Italian genre cinema in general, a pinch of Ingmar Bergman and a little Jodorowsky. Let's see, the short film Possibly in Michigan keeps on coming up in my work. Some other SOV films that had also inspired The Head, things like that. It's a thick soup of sex, violence, and pretension that's led to Dr. Deathface. And I'm really excited for you to taste it. Before we dig into any more details, here's Past Me with the elevator pitch and some footage. Go on past me. Go talk in a swimming pool for some reason. Ah. All right, so yeah, I'm in a pool now because this is a pretentious art movie, and if you have an empty pool, it's the indie film way to use that pool. So this is one of our sets, I guess, locations, and we need to fill this whole pool with like crew and actors and bloody gore effects and nudity. So that's why we need your money. And so yeah, you already know all that because I just told you back where it's warm and I'm not in a fucking cold pool in the middle of December. But basically, the story of Deathface is Dr. Deathface. Yes, that is his real name. He's a sex therapist and he's agoraphobic and he's a divorcee and he's just not having a great time. And then he finds himself in the most beautiful of fashions. After a year of being stuck indoors, there's still Christmas decorations outside from the year before because of the aforementioned agoraphobia. One day, he discovers that he loves murdering people. And he also happens, via his sweat sinking into a mattress, it makes sense in context, he gets a new best friend, and that best friend is a monstrous vagina that grows out of that mattress and eats people. So, yeah, it's a bedgina. And I'm really excited. Tons of practical effects, all that jazz. Anyway, you don't care about me or this awesome, empty, gross pool in the middle of December for some goddamn reason. Why are we here? You care about footage, so here it is. A teaser for the film made up of test shots that we took from the actual story. It's not based on a true story, like the script. And we just shot them. It should look a little bit different in the final product, but this is basically what we're going for visually in the film. Watch that thing! Cool.
Something strange is happening in my house. This whole week has been pretty strange. And to be honest, something strange is also happening in me. I don't think I'm a very good therapist.
Hey man, what happened to that old fender that used to be right here?
I used it to bash a patient's head in, and then I fed him to my bed.
So about the money. After all, that's why we're here. I'm going to do a separate video breaking down exactly how I'll be using the funds, but the brass tacks here is that I need to pay cast and crew and nab some equipment that'll be used on this and future projects. That part's important. Ideally, I'd like to nab a couple of parfocal zoom lenses, like ideally, so I can get the shots exactly the way that I want and do a little set design junk to make the house we're using a little more dynamic on screen. We'll also be dealing with a bunch of practical effects, so if you're a horror nut who enjoys a little bloody ultraviolence with as little digital assistance as possible, this one's for you. Regarding the actors, since there will be quite a bit of sexuality and nudity on display, I figure, I should probably pay them for their time. The $10,000 we're asking for is not going to cover all of this, and so I'm hoping we go significantly over that amount and can really make the most of this production. However, I'm also aware that this is very niche stuff, so I'm happy to go out of pocket where I can. I'm a poor person. If I have to ditch the lenses so I can feed my crew actual food and get some proper gore in there, well, that's just going to have to happen, and we'll figure it out from there. That's the indie film way. And finally, what do you get for backing this project? We've got a bunch of really cool tiers available, and at just $15, you already got yourself a special thanks in the credits and a digital copy of the film once it's completed. Probably around, I don't know, somewhere in the summer. I'm not gonna put a name on it. Let's say we're gonna try for before Halloween. Let's say that before Halloween. Anyway, from there we also have a physical bootleg version of the film, essentially a means of giving you a physical copy while we shop it around for distributors, which could take literal years. That bootleg copy will include exclusive bonus features, including a commentary track that will not ever be included on another disc, ever. We might wind up with a few extra copies for giveaways and junk, but it's going to be a limited run based on however many peeps pay for a perk with the Blu-ray included. We've also decided that since we're buying long-term equipment, it's only fair to give a long-term perk. If you invest in either the $500 or $1,200 tier, then you will be credited as producer and executive producer, respectively, on the next 3 films I make independently. I have to stipulate the independent part, just in case I find success and get one of them, fancy Hollywood deals, which, don't hold your breath on that one. I'm literally making a movie about a man-eating vagina. I don't expect Disney to knock on my door anytime soon. However, I will be making more movies. In fact, I intend to continue my one-a-year trajectory that I was on pre-pandemic, and you crazy kids donating a shitload of money will automatically be in on that action and given access to production meetings and internal updates on the making of those films. It's a lot to promise, not going to lie, but this campaign, if successful, is a literal life changer for me and the people I work with. We owe it to you guys for believing in us. Anywho, there's a bunch more. Production diary, soundtrack CD. There's probably going to be a really funny poster, other stuff, and it's all listed on our IndieGoGo page, so check that out for more info. Oh, also, we're going to be producing a ton of behind-the-scenes content along the way, so if you ever wanted to watch a super low-budget film go from inception to reality, you'll get that through exclusive updates, which will only be available to those who give to this campaign or are already part of my personal Patreon. It's basically film school for weirdos, I guess. Again, I cannot stress enough how much funding this movie will change my life instantaneously, and so I want you to get as much out of it as humanly possible. Thank you. I don't know how to end these. Let your freak flags fly. That's it. That's all I got. Bye.